What is up, everybody? It is JT Sports. I am back with you guys with another video. I want to talk about my expectations for the Jacksonville Jaguars with Urban Meyer going into his first season as the head coach and rookie quarterback Trevor Lawrence. There are a good amount of you guys who think that I am overrating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, let me clear something up. I don't think the Jaguars are going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to make it to the playoffs. And I don't think they're going to win the division this year. All I'm saying is that I think the Jaguars are going to be better than what a lot of you guys are giving them credit for. I think this team should at least win somewhere between 6 to 7 games this year. I've been watching a lot of record predictions. I've seen a lot of people who have the Jaguars winning 3 or 4 games this year and picking in the top 5. I don't think the Jaguars are going to be a bad team this year. I think this is a team that is going to be competitive. They're going to be in a lot of one-possession games, and they're going to surprise some people. I think they're going to end up winning a game against Tennessee and Indianapolis this year. Now, this is a really good roster. A better roster than, once again, what you guys are giving them credit for. Like, the national media makes it seem like the Jaguars are just this awful team. They have no talent. Trevor Lawrence has to carry the franchise. That's just so false, man. Like, you guys need to stop listening to the national media all the time. Because I'm going to be real with you guys. I live in the city of Jacksonville. I have lived in the city of Jacksonville for over 15 years, and I barely have ever paid attention to the Jaguars. The only time I have watched a Jaguars game has been when there's no other games on locally in my area, or last season when I was watching James Robinson play because he was on my fantasy football team. So if I'm barely watching the Jacksonville Jaguars, and remind you, I live in the city of Jacksonville, what makes you guys believe that these other guys on national television are watching the Jacksonville Jaguars? Be real now. Come on now. You guys really think that these guys and these analysts on these big time networks really are paying attention to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Because if they were, then they will understand that this team has talent. They will understand that DJ Chark was a former Pro Bowler. They will understand that this offensive line is solid when everybody's healthy. Keyword, when everybody's healthy. This offensive line isn't bad. Now, is it great? It's not, but it's not bad. If everybody can stay healthy this year, I think the Jaguars could have like a pretty solid average offensive line. You got James Robinson, Travis Etienne. I don't really know what role he's going to play. It looks like they're going to try to use him like in the scat back roles in a sense. He's going to be the third down back. He's going to be doing some work in the slot, which is what they've been having him practicing in at minicamp. Then you bring in Marvin Jones, who has been really underrated. He had a really good season with the Detroit Lions last year and the season prior. He's really good. He's going to be their number 2 wide receiver on the opposite side of DJ Chark. You got Laviska Shenault, who was one of the better rookie wide receivers in the league last year. The Jaguars have a lot of talent. I am expecting the Jaguars to be a competitive football team and to win at least 6 games this year, and especially 2 games against Tennessee and Indianapolis in this division. And this defense, aside from the interior of the defensive line, which is a big concern that I have about the Jaguars going into training camp, this defense is pretty solid. You got Josh Allen, who missed the majority of last year due to an injury. Don't really know what we're going to get from Caleb Chasen. He looks like a bust so far. I think he only had 1 sack last year. Hopefully he can have a pretty better season going into year 2 of his career. You got Miles Jack, one of the best linebackers in the game. Joe Schobert, who you picked up in free agency last year. Then you bring in Shaquille Griffin, who I'm not really a big fan of because he was too up and down for me when he was playing for the Seattle Seahawks. But he's pretty solid. CJ Henderson was also pretty good last year as a rookie. Now, overall, this is a really solid roster. And I don't understand why people are making me seem like I'm a maniac for having the Jaguars winning like 6 or 7 games. Like, I went on Twitter and I said, listen, for all you Colts fans and you Tennessee fans out there who think the Jaguars are just going to be an easy W, you're wrong. They're not going to be an automatic W. This is a team that is going to push and compete with almost every single team they play this year that is on their schedule. And I don't think the Tennessee Titans are, going to be so great that they're just going to annihilate the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Indianapolis is just going to be so great that they're just going to bulldoze Jacksonville. Jacksonville is going to split with both of those teams this year. Screen record this, screenshot it, do whatever you got to do, and make sure to come back to this video when the Jaguars beat Tennessee and Indianapolis. The Jaguars beat Indianapolis the game 1 of last year. Like, sleep on this Jaguars team all you want to. I'm not deceiving you guys. I'm not a Jaguars fan. Trust me, I can care less about the Jacksonville Jaguars than a bunch of you non-Jaguar fans watching this. I've lived in Jacksonville my whole entire life. Haven't really cared about Jacksonville. They've been boo-boo for my whole entire time living down here. They've only had one good season. That was 2017 with Blake Bortles when they went to the AFC Championship game and lost to the Patriots. So listen, please take my word when I tell you that the Jaguars are a better team than what you guys are giving them credit for. They're not going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. They're going to be a competitive football team. I think they're going to have a similar season to what the Carolina Panthers had last year under Matt Rule going into his first year. The Carolina Panthers, yeah, they didn't win a lot of games, but 7 out of 11 of their losses were decided by 1 possession or less, or 7 points or less. And I think we can see the Jacksonville Jaguars have a similar season to that. Now, of course, it's always funny to see the Urban Meyer jokes. The Urban Meyer is a cheater. The Urban Meyer is going to fake a heart problem if things go awry. Those are funny, but I think Jacksonville has the roster in place. You got Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Like, I just don't see a possible scenario that they win less than 4 games. At worst. I think it's realistic to see them winning 6 to 7 games this year. And stop trying to make me seem like I'm crazy. Like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, last year, you guys did the same thing when I said Washington was going 7-9. And I told you guys, I was taking it to the bank that Washington was going to win 7 games. And what happened? Washington won 7 games. You guys called me crazy when I said Pittsburgh was going to make the playoffs. What happened? Pittsburgh made the playoffs. The only 2 teams I missed on last year were the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys let me down. Philadelphia definitely let me down. But aside from that, all my predictions were pretty on the money. So trust me when I tell you that when the Jaguars are going to have a solid season this year, they're going to be solid. I'm not misleading you guys. I'm not being biased. Trust me. I live in Jacksonville. And I don't care anything about the Jaguars. I only watch them if I have to. Or if one of their players is on my fantasy football team. So trust me when I tell you guys that the Jaguars are going to be solid. This team on paper may be the best Jaguars team I've seen in a decade. Now, it may not be better than that 2017 team on paper, but I think offensively they are, because you got more skill at wide receiver than you did in 2017. This is a really good Jaguars team. This is the best Jaguars team that I've seen this team have on paper heading into the season. So I'm excited to watch the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that is rare for me to say that because I don't really care about the Jaguars all that much. And I live in Jacksonville, so that tells me everything you need to know about how people perceive the Jacksonville Jaguars from a national standpoint. If I'm barely paying attention to the Jaguars living in this city, then there's no way you can expect me to believe that these so-called analysts are watching every single Jacksonville Jaguars game. Because I'm going to be real with you. They're not. So, let me know what you guys think about the Jacksonville Jaguars down below. My expectations for the Jaguars this year are to be a competitive football team. I think they're going to win at least 6 games this year. I could be wrong. You know, I can't get everything right. But you guys let me know how you guys feel about the Jaguars down in the comment section down below. Make sure that you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and college football videos. And thanks for watching.